It's the end of the f***ing world, season 2. Hit it! What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the second season of a really great show that was released on Netflix. I'm talking about End of the f***ing World, Season 2. So if you guys fell in love with the show as much as I did, I actually did a review of the first season, so if you guys haven't seen that, check that out. I'll put a little link up here. Click on that, my thoughts on the first season. Essentially, the setup of the show was Alyssa, played by Jessica Barden, and James, played by Lawther. They're young teenagers. James is like a psychopath. Alyssa hates the world and wants it to end, and she hates everything about her life, and she's very emotionless, sarcastic, kind of bitchy at times, and they're a really great fit for each other. Essentially, they embarked on this road trip to find out her real father, and it sets up a lot of craziness in the first season. They come across this author / professor. They end up breaking into his house, and the guy comes home and tries to rape Alyssa, and she ends up killing him, and her and James are on the run, essentially, at that point, like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of scenario. They're running from the law because they murdered somebody, and it sets up the end of the first season. James gets shot, and the cops show up, and it's a really crazy scene and ending to the first season, so we don't know if James is dead or what happened to him. But setting up the second season, we have Alyssa. This season's more of her arc. You know, the first season was more focused on James and his life, and we see the aftermath of what happened in the first season between her and James getting shot. She is lost in life and trying to find her true happiness, and if she really wants to move on with life. Alyssa and her mom end up moving out to the middle of nowhere in the woods, and Alyssa takes on this job as a waitress, and she's trying to get through daily life, and she is so pissed off and she hates life so much. And Jessica Barden is really great in this character. She plays such a asshole at times, very selfish, emotionless at times. Alyssa doesn't give a the world or anybody around her. Alyssa and Jessica Barden is just really great this season, even better than the first season. So her character is definitely top notch and one of the focal points, more of the focal points, the arcs of this season. With that being said, we have the character of Bonnie. She worked at the college where the professor / author worked at, and basically Bonnie had a relationship with this professor. She showed up at his house where Alyssa and James were at in the first season, and they ended up killing that guy. So this is a revenge tale of her trying to track down Alyssa and James because Alyssa killed the love of her life, that author that was much like a pedophile at times. He's really creepy looking, and a professor and author, but there's something really odd and off about this guy. But she was madly in love with him, and she's pissed off at this point after finding out he's dead. So Bonnie's setup of the episode is tracking down these people, Alyssa and James, and killing them. Like I was saying, in the first season, James getting shot, we're not sure if he's alive or not, but we do end up finding out what happens to him. And it definitely wouldn't be End of the World without James. I love Lawther in this character. He's a man of little words. Most of the dialogue in this season is, what? Yeah. What? Yeah. And that's James and Alyssa throughout the entire season. But basically, he got shot, but he survived. He couldn't walk for a long time, so he had to relearn how to walk. And he was in the hospital for a long time. And Alyssa, kind of going through her shit and basically taking it as James dying, getting murdered by the cops. She's taking it pretty hard, but we do see that he's okay, and he's going to do whatever he can to find Alyssa and make sure that they work things out and they're together for the rest of their lives. When James ends up showing up and finding out where Alyssa's at, things are not good because Alyssa moved on to some other random asshole, because Alyssa's trying to fill that void and hole in her heart from missing James, thinking he was killed. It was the end of their relationship. But when James shows up, it's not too good, because Alyssa notices this car's always like watching her from outside the restaurant she works at. So she comes out all pissed off and like, who the are you? Some stalker, and find out it's James. Her moving on and getting married, a person that really hated the world and wanted it all to end. She's getting married and trying to live a life of happiness with some random guy. That sets up a lot of conflict early on in the season when James shows up and sees Alyssa and her new fiance, and there's a lot of awkwardness there. But of course, things turn out for the better, and these two characters are favorites. Alyssa and James embark on another road trip, and then coming across this Bonnie character that's after them. Each episode ends on a cliffhanger. It ends and it leaves you wanting more, so you have to watch the next episode. And that's pretty much how I binged this season. I knocked it out in 2 days. The episodes are only 20 minutes long, and it's 8 episodes, so you can knock it out pretty quick. But you get really invested in the season and the story. So with that being said, one of my favorite shots of the season is with Alyssa and James and Bonnie. They're all kind of sitting around at this hotel restaurant, having some drinks. There's like this creepy guy that works at this motel, is like hitting on Bonnie, and she's obviously not interested in this guy. It set up a really brutal sequence in a scene that I did not predict. It was really fantastic. And that's another great aspect about the show. There's a lot of twists and turns that you don't expect. One of the things that really blew me away about season 2 of End of the World is the music. Lots of great music. I'm actually listening to both season soundtracks on Spotify right now. That's how good they are. And the music in the show in the season 2 really builds the atmosphere and the vibe they're going for. Even though the show is like super dark at times, they have like some like upbeat like music and rock music and things like that. A lot of great tunes. But leading up until the end of season 2, this was definitely Alyssa's season. A lot of things she's going through from the beginning all the way to the end, with her and James trying to figure out what they want to do with each other and where the future leads them. Sets up a lot of great scenes. I think Lawther and Jessica Barden did a really great job, even better than the first season. I thought their performances were more fleshed out and really well acted and really convincing at the same time. And I love the way they end this season as well. It's a really great ending, a really great send-off for these characters. I don't think they need to do another season. I thought it was a really fantastic ending of these two characters that's really pulls at your heartstrings, very emotional, and really feels good considering the source material. It's a pretty dark show. It's a really great ending, and I love the way they went out with these characters. So End of the World Season 2 is definitely a show I highly recommend. If you guys have not seen the first season, I just pretty much spoiled it for you. So definitely go check that out. It's one of the best original shows on Netflix. I caught it the first season on accident, fell in love with it, and really excited for the second season. 20-minute episodes, only 8 episodes this season, so something you guys will start and finish probably in one sitting. It's that good. Really great storytelling, a show that's super dark, has a lot of twists. Really great performances by Lawther and Jessica Barden playing James and Alyssa. Even better this season, and even more shit they get into with the introduction of the character Bonnie. She was really fantastic and scary at the same time throughout the season. It's a lot of great characters, really great story, really great music, set design. All of it was very beautiful and just as good or even better than the first season. So I'm going to give End of the World Season 2 a 4.5 out of 5 English hair pieces, lads. So if you guys did check out the brand new season of End of the World, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you think is going to happen for the future of the show? Will they come back with a season 3? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out with Alyssa and James until the next video review. Cheese!